What's going on? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and up next I have got a pretty awesome unboxing here. We got 3 books that are in here. Then I also have some other books that I have already unboxed prior to filming this. So I'm going to go over that I've picked up as well. Should be some fun books. Let's get into these. So before we get started, please remember to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more content like this. So, like I said, I've got three books that are in this box here that I picked up. Then I've got one raw book and one slab that's over here, as well as another slab that I'm going to talk about. There's something else I'm just going to talk about briefly at the end of this video as well. But first, let's see. Let's open this one first, because I haven't had a chance to open these yet. I haven't seen these yet, so these are the most interesting and exciting for me to open. So it's 3 books that I picked up. I think they're pretty cool books. So they're some. Let's see. At least one of them I have tried to. I know I've bid on a number of times, and I've never won it until now. Then there are the other ones I've known about, but I don't think I've ever really had an opportunity to bid on them until I picked them up here. So let's get these out of here. All right. Okay, so the first one here. Now, I like to pick up the books from this title or this character's titles, just when there are certain key issues that I like to go after. And this is what I would call one of those key issues. And this is Archie's Girls, Betty and Veronica, number 40. And this is known as kind of one of the more popular or in-demand good girl art type covers with Betty and Veronica on it. You can see it's called the Mousetrap cover, but you can read the text so you can see why. But really a nice looking copy. I mean, so it's a 5.0. Looks like it's got some foxing along the cover here. If you're not familiar with what foxing would be, if you see these kind of like these little brown dots on the cover, that typically is what is referred to as foxing. You can have a wide variety of it. You can have. I've had books that have kind of like huge like clumps of foxing on the book, and then I've had ones that just have a few small little dots like this. I mean, this is a really nice presenting copy. I'll have to definitely take a look at it to see if maybe there's like some spine splits, or if maybe the cover is detached at one of the staples. I mean, you can see a little bit more of that foxing here, but usually CGC doesn't really hit too bad for foxing. They'll hit a lot harder for things like tanning or mold, but foxing not nearly as much. It almost looks like maybe it hasn't been pressed, and when I see the type of thing I'm looking for, as you can see, those kind of like those indentations there. Now, it is possible it's reverted some after a press. Maybe it was pressed, but it just doesn't really look like it. You've also got these ripples here that look like they're from some type of moisture damage. So maybe there's some staining on the interior that I can't see. There is a little chip out of the top here, but I mean, this is a really nice looking copy for a 5.0. So real happy with this one. And this is a book that there are not very many high grades of it. I think the highest grade is like I feel like it's like an 8 or an 8.5. I'll put a note down here if I go and check that after I film this. But yeah, so a 5.0 is actually a very, very nice grade. Really bright colors, great looking copy, from 1959, so early Silver Age. But yeah, I like picking up these Betty and Veronica type covers from different Archie titles. So that's the first one. Now, second one here, this is the one that I have bid on this one quite a few times, and this is the first time I've been able to take a copy home, and this is Crime Does Not Pay, number 46. And the reason this one's so, I guess, popular or in demand is it's a super creepy cover. You've got this little girl coming out of probably like an all-girl school. I'm guessing that's what that is there. And you've got this guy that's probably trying to kidnap her, that's offering her ice cream to basically entice her to get into this car where they've got, a rope. They're gonna, capture that girl. So kind of like a creepy, weird cover, and just one that you see pop up for sale every once in a while, and you know, it's a 4.5, and again, another one that is a nice looking 4.5. You know, we'll take a look at the, it's got a couple little creases down here. It's got a little bit of paper loss there. Let's see what on the back. Yeah, the back seems to be where more of the damage is. You can see there's probably, it looks almost like bug chew or something on the top there. And then just like a little wear along the spine. But overall, I mean, front cover looks fantastic. I mean, a really sharp appearing copy, really sharp looking copy. So Crime Does Not Pay, number 46. You know, Charles Bureau, he is known for having some weird covers. He definitely had some weird covers, and this is one of them. So kidnapping cover, and yeah, so one, like I said, I've tried to pick up a copy of this a number of times, and just there always seems to be a lot of demand for them, just because, you know, the cover content's super weird. And it's one of those things where the weirder the cover content is, or the more extreme the cover content is, that's often what drives the value of a lot of Golden Age books. And that one, it's a unique, weird cover. This one is also a unique and weird cover. I think Keston talked about this one on one of his videos, and so this is a low grade copy, but this is a crazy cover. And so this is Daredevil Comics number 11. You can see you've got this like really weird torture setup where you've got kind of like this hunchback character that is like, I don't know, he's like drooling blood on her feet while tickling her with a feather. You've got Daredevil coming in the back here with like his boomerang that he's throwing at this guy. And you've got all these different guys that are in cages along the sides. And this is also a Charles Bureau cover. You can see his little signature there. So, I mean, he's got some weird covers. I mean, some really weird covers. It is a 1.5, is a slightly brittle copy. You know, it is a lower grade copy, but it still presents pretty well. I mean, you can tell, you know, the staples have some rust. It looks like it's detached at the bottom, might be detached at the top. It's hard to tell for sure. Then you've got the back where it's got an advertisement for boy comics. But yeah, Daredevil Comics number 11, definitely one of the bigger books from this run, because it is just such a wild cover. It is a weird cover, and one that I know I've looked at them before, but it's cool to be able to get a copy of that book. All right, now let's see the next one here. So I showed this book previously, and I'm going to show this one first just because of the other book that I've got. So this is one that I've shown in a previous unboxing. This is Super World Comics number 2. This is a extremely rare book. I think I talked about in that prior video that a copy hadn't sold for like 6 years publicly before this one. And so that was one of the main reasons I picked it up, just something you don't see come up for sale hardly ever. So this was Super World Comics number 2. This is considered the most rare issue from the run. It is a Gerber index of 8, which is that Gerber scarcity index from the Gerber photojournals. Whereas the other 2 issues that are in the run, it's a small run, it's just 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 3 are both scarcity indexes of 7. And what I have here is issue number 1, which I would say is the best cover from the run. Now, this one, I am planning on having this one cracked out. I thought about just like cracking it out here on camera. I might do that. I don't know, we'll see. But, so this one is Super World Comics number 1, and the colors are actually really great on it. Now, it is a 0.5 because it's incomplete. It's missing page 14, but still, colors are great, and it's one of these books that, similar to Super World Comics number 2, just does not come up for sale very often. And so this one popped up for sale on Instagram, and I grabbed it. The other thing I thought was really cool was that this one has this star stamp on the cover, and this one also has this star stamp on the cover. So I thought that was pretty cool. They both had that star stamp. But what I'm planning to do is, because if I can avoid it, I don't like having comics in the magazine size cases. It's just, they don't store as easily. I don't know, they just don't present quite as well. And so you can tell that this book has a huge spine roll. And so the way that you can get this to fit inside of a normal slab is to just have the spine roll fixed, and then it'll be, you know, like a similar width to this, fit inside a normal slab, and then, you know, those two would look pretty cool next to each other. But colors are still great, which is one of the important things to me. Yeah, I mean, just really bright blues, really bright greens, reds, everything. I kind of want to just like, feel like I could probably just like crack this out, because that's what I'm going to do anyway. Now, let's see here. We'll just crack it out now. So you can see these magazine cases, they are just super flimsy. So I just grabbed the sides, and I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, so the magazine, the new magazine cases are not like that. The new magazine cases are just like these slabs. They're much more stiff plastic, sealed a lot better, and so now you can see that inside of here, it's now inside that that little plastic sleeve. So we'll pull that out, and so I'll just toss those away. And then what I'll have to do is I'll just have to cut it out of here. So actually, I'll cut for just a second. I'm going to cut this out, and then I can show maybe a little bit of the interior of this book.
A few moments later.
All right, we are back. So I have, I've cut it out of here now. So I basically cut the top edge and then cut along this side here. So then I can just pull the book out. So now I have that book out. Let's see, I mean, really solid presenting copy of this book in terms of colors. I mean, yeah, it's got lots of wear and everything, and especially when the spine roll's fixed, I think it's going to look even nicer. Yeah, it's got stains and all that. I mean, it's a 0.5 regardless. It doesn't really matter. So let's take a look at some of this interior here. It's a weird mix. Like, I would say the quality of the interior art isn't as strong as the quality of the cover. So I'm gonna find some other stuff here. There's a mix. There's like detective stories. Like, you would think it would be, mostly sci-fi based on the cover, but I mean, not a lot of sci-fi in here. I see more, I mean, more kind of like detective type stories that are in it. Let's see if there's something that's like the cover.
2,000 years later. Okay,
so the first story is more sci-fi oriented. You can see a little bit there, but that's really, and that seems to be that monster from the cover. But that really seems to be the only real sci-fi side of it. Other than that, it's like detective stories and kids stories. There's also, you'll see these inside of here when you crack a book out. This is the chamber paper that helps keep the pages nice. So I'll have to go get a bag and a board and everything, and I'll put this away, and then I'm going to send this off to the presser to just have that spine roll fixed, just because, yeah, I want to have it inside of a normal slab. But yeah, pretty cool. Super World Comics #1. All right, so then the last book here, this one is, I'd say, like, it's a little more adult. I picked this one up from Alex the Comic Hoarder. He actually did a YouTube video where he had some books that were for sale, and he just basically had the video and he said, claim in the comments if you want any of the books. And I claimed this one. This is probably one of Dave Stevens' most well-known popular covers, and this is Planet Comics #1. Dave Stevens is known for like drawing pinup type covers, pinup girl type covers, and that's definitely what this is. I mean, it's kind of like an expansion on Planet Comics from the Golden Age, but just a little more revealing outfits than you have with the women in the Golden Age. But yeah, so that was one that I picked up from Alex Comic Hoarder, and he threw in kind of like an A-OK, something for free that he threw in with it. And it's this promotional comic, Luana. And so if you are familiar with this cover, it is because this is also the cover art from Vampirella #31, which is done by Frank Frazetta, and Vampirella 31 is the first appearance of Luana. And he threw this one in for free with that, so I thought that was really cool. So thanks, Alex. Make sure to always go check out his channel as well. He just dropped an amazing video, an awesome barn find book that he picked up, and so make sure to go check that one out. That was a really, really cool video to see. So yeah, so that was the other book that I got from Alex. Now, the other thing that I said I wanted to talk about at the end of this video, just briefly, was I had gotten a comment recently asking about the the Gengar in the back there, and just kind of like why it was there, you know, that kind of thing. And so I also collect Pokemon cards to a small extent. I have a very small number of Pokemon cards I've collected, and my niece picked that Gengar up at a Comic-Con and gave it to me for Christmas this last year. So that is the why the Gengar is up back there. But I have a few Pokemon cards, so I just thought, you know, I don't talk about Pokemon very often on the channel, and mostly I focus on comics, but just a few cards, so if you're interested in those. I've got this one here. This is a base set Charizard. This is the Shadowless Charizard, 8.5, graded by Beckett, which is BGS. Basically, you have first edition, then you have Shadowless, then you have Unlimited. And so this one, what it means by Shadowless is that there's no shadow on the side here, which is on Unlimited. It's not on this one, and it's not on first edition. First edition will have a little first edition stamp there. But yeah, so, you know, first Charizard in the US prints. Then have this one here, which is Dark Blastoise. This is from Team Rocket. This is a first edition, and so that's why when you see the little first edition stamps, and this has the R because it's the, you know, from Team Rocket. So, you know, just the cool little holofoil stuff. Then we've got Gyarados, and this is actually a first edition base set. So you can see, again, it doesn't have the shadow here, but the difference here is that it has that first edition stamp. And so those three are all Beckett or BGS graded. Then I have a few more modern cards. And so, like, I mean, my recommendation, if you're interested at all in Pokemon cards and you're trying to go for stuff that maybe will retain its value or gain in value, I would generally target like older cards, you know, first edition type cards. Or if you like the modern cards, generally would target like full art trainers. Those tend to seem to retain their value and grow in value pretty well. And so that's what my other three are. They're all full art trainers. This is Rosa from Cosmic Eclipse. Let's see, focus there. Yeah, 2019 Cosmic Eclipse. And I always go for the PSA 10s. I mean, there's so many of these cards out there. PSA is by far the most popular grader, and there's so many that I always go for the 10s. And if it's not a 10, I don't bother with the moderns. But yeah, so Rosa, full art trainer from Cosmic Eclipse. Then this is Lycia from Celestial Storm, 2018, another full art trainer. And again, PSA 10. That's what I aim for those. And then the last full art trainer is Skyla from the 2016 Pokemon X and Y era, which is the Breakpoint set, and that's also a PSA 10. So those are, I just have 6 Pokemon cards. I've tried to keep that like a relatively small. I definitely, like on these ones, I definitely bought these kind of like during the peak, and so I've gotten burned on the values on these. So that's, I mean, that's one of those things. Like, Pokemon cards were super hot. They're still very popular, but they've corrected like everything else. The trainers I bought a little bit later, so I'm doing fine on the trainers. But yeah, but I still think these are super cool, having things like first edition cards, that kind of stuff. So, well, that's everything I picked up. That's why I have the Gengar back there. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content like this. I have got more videos over here if you'd like to see some more videos. Subscription button right here if you'd like to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.